and welcome to the second ever episode of the Second Chance podcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Kerry.
And we made it to 2.
We made it to 2. Honestly, I'm really surprised this wasn't just like a 1 week phase. And we're like, I'm actually very surprised at our level of commitment.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, we've always talked, we're like, oh, yeah, let's do a podcast. We never do it. And after the first episode, I'm like, oh, like, I honestly didn't know how likely it was we were going to record a second episode.
Yeah.
But we did it, and we're here now.
Knowing how much fun I knew that we'd have with this, like, I wanted this to be something that, like, we said, but we actually, like, committed to.
Yeah. Like, like I said last episode, I made a notes app of all of our episode ideas. You guys thought I was joking. I actually re-listened to the entire episode last week. And I wrote down every single, like, possible idea we mentioned during the episode. And I literally had, like, 15.
Oh, no, she really did.
And then we came up with, like, more within the week. But, like, we are down. We are committed. We are officially committed.
We're here. And we're not going nowhere.
Yep. No.
But
not going anywhere.
So, Kerry and I have planned a bunch of fun guests, fun friends of ours in the upcoming podcast. And actually, at the end of this episode, we're announcing officially who episode 3's guest is, who we're very excited about.
We are very excited for it.
But I think, while it's just the two of us, I think a great way to get to know us is to talk about our past.
Our past.
No matter how bittersweet it may be.
Or how good or bad or... just like any emotion. Like
so welcome to me and Kerry's funny childhood stories.
Funny childhood stories. Woo!
I mean, where do we want to start this off? I mean, I personally remember my first day of first grade, which is nuts. But I actually remember it.
I'm sure now I don't, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember first grade.
So we're going to be using, in negative context, we're going to come up with some names, some random names.
Fake names. Because we don't want to, like...
We're not here to defame nobody.
Because a lot of these people we don't speak to anymore, and we don't want to, like, bring up names.
Exactly.
If they don't want to be brought out.
And we're not that petty. We're not not going to ruin nobody's lives out here.
No. Look, we can be petty, but we are willingly choosing not to be, which is a big step for us.
Yes.
So
don't know if we would have been like this last year.
Nope. Well, you guys should be very proud of us. This is growth for both of us. So
it's real growth.
So please continue.
No, I remember my first impression of our first grade teacher was actually, like, pretty nice, but as time went on, I began to dislike them.
See,
they were really
I remember them
iffy.
I remember some questionable things.
They sent me to the principal's office because I apparently was talking back to them.
Oh, I remember you telling me this story. I didn't remember this, but I remember you mentioning it to me.
I remember being pissed out of my mind because as a 6-year-old, I didn't understand what I was doing.
Yeah, like, talking back. Like, obviously, like...
You signed up to teach 6-year-olds. We're gonna have attitude. Like,
right. But also,
we still haven't formulated a full conscience.
Right. No, but also, if you, like, have an attitude, like, I don't think, like, at least for a 6-year-old, I don't think the next step is to send you to the principal's office.
Thank you. My point.
What they should say is, like, hey, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And then, or, like, next time I'll give you a warning.
No,
and then you will learn
exactly.
from that. Like, knowing that you are going to automatically go to the principal's office, I feel like it's just such, like, it's such a weird...
That's called negative reinforcement. All right.
Reinforcement.
But I remember my first day of school. I think, do we want to, like name drop people, like, in a positive light?
Ooh.
We can keep it out of it just for their privacy for now, and we can see how people feel about it. But I remember my first friend.
We should try to find a middle school person who would be on this podcast, though.
Yeah.
I don't know who would do it.
I have a few names in mind that we can talk about later.
I have a few too. We'll talk about it later, and I'll add it to my notes app.
There's one very obvious name.
Yes.
Your sister.
Yes. Well, other than my sister is an obvious one. She's already on the list.
No, I'm with you.
But there are other names that I would love to see if they would be on it.
But I think
we can talk about later.
I remember my first day. There was me and one other person that we still like, who we were new to the school.
Oh yes.
And so I remember we did a tour of the middle school, of the grammar school building for us. And by the way, just to preface, I found out that this was weird that our elementary school was called a grammar school.
Is that weird?
Apparently that's weird. Like, the first time I said that, they were like, I already was just reacting like, grammar school? What the hell's a grammar school? Apparently it's university. I understand it's university and elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
But I found out that it was weird that we were called a grammar school.
Grammar
But
school,
whatever.
I mean, elementary grammar. I don't know.
We'll call it elementary for the purposes of universality. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a word.
I don't think it is. But
don't care. I'm gonna use it
That's
anyways.
fine.
It is. I'm too tired to
Yeah,
function
no.
properly.
That's fine.
But yeah, we did a tour of our elementary building, or at least the rooms that were important to it, like the art room, the
Right.
music room, and
Mhm.
whatnot. And I remember standing in a line in front of the blacktop when we got outside, and this individual like looking over to me and being like, "Hi, I'm so and so. Want to
Mhm.
be friends?" And I remember that was my
Oh my
first
God.
friend, and that was my best friend for all of for my entire like elementary and middle school life.
Mhm.
And I think you know who I'm talking about based off of that description.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I mean, this was somebody who, just to make things more obvious for you, Kerry, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody who was like universally loved by the grade.
Everyone.
Like
Everyone.
everyone loved this individual,
Mm-hmm.
just because he's a nice person. Like
Right.
there was like
Mm-hmm.
he never stepped into any drama. He was always
No.
the mediator, the peacemaker. He always
Mhm.
was like
Always.
super nice.
Yeah.
And like I remember really appreciating that as somebody who was nervous, because I had switched. This was the second time I switched schools. So I was like, so I initially went to a school for pre-K4, and then there were some issues there that my parents thought it was best to move me, and then we found this great school
Mm-hmm.
that was too far away. It was a 40-minute drive,
Right.
and it was like,
Not worth
I
it.
remember my dad telling me, like, I am so tired of having to wake this poor child up so early, and then, like, it was a struggle to get me out of bed. I was 4 or 5 years old. It was a
Mhm.
struggle to get me out of bed in time to leave, to make it in time for school. So my parents were like, no, next. So we found
Right.
our middle school, and then we were just like, okay, this is a vibe. And we didn't have any issues until 5th grade. And so
Mm-hmm.
we were kind of like chilling. And then
Yeah. Then
yeah.
shit
And then,
hit the fan.
yeah, things happened.
Things happen.
Things happened.
Things happen.
But I remember 1st grade was pretty good for us. I
Mm-hmm.
remember, I mean, do you remember stuff about 1st grade?
I remember one thing. There was this girl who hated me.
But yeah.
Yeah, but so this girl pretty much hated me. And every single time I would see her, she would always give me weird, dirty looks. I don't know, I have not seen her since this, but so she was in my sister's class, I think, if I remember correctly. And, yeah, and I remember every single time she would see me, she'd always like give me weird looks whenever we were going around, and I'm like, what is up with this girl? Last day of school, 1st grade, I'm on the playground with my sister, and I'm clearing my throat. Gotta get to like the big moment. This is a big Kerry moment. And I would never I don't know what the fuck I was on for me to do this at the age of 7, but I was at the playground last day of school. I was like with my sister, maybe a few friends, if I remember correctly, and then she once again was like staring me down and giving me a weird look, and I'm like, what is up with this? Then I saw her mom. I went up to her mom, and I was like, hey, you don't know who I am. I was going to say, your daughter has been really mean to me, and she's been like giving me weird looks and making like somewhat like kind of like snarky comments, and
What were you on?
and best part, she didn't come back next year.
You were 7.
I was 7.
And for context, Kerry is a whole year older than me.
I'm a whole year older.
I don't know. Okay, somebody brought this really good point up to me. How the frick did we go to the same school
What do you mean?
and same grade?
What do you mean?
Our cutoff date. Oh wait, because here's the thing.
I'm a late birthday.
So am I. But
I know.
my cutoff. The thing is, because I had to keep moving up, and the cutoff for my kindergarten was December, so I made the cut.
Mine was also December, but my parents chose to keep my sister and I back a year.
Ah.
Because
Okay, yeah.
so in my neighborhood there were actually 3 sets of twins, all born within a month of each other.
Really?
There was a set in September, set in October, set in November.
Do I know the September
No.
November sets?
I don't think
Okay.
you do. I've never mentioned them, and they went to like completely different schools.
Yeah.
And I remember that. So obviously all of us are within like that late birthday stage. My sister and I are the only ones that stayed back a year. All of
Okay.
them all moved up.
Oh, so they
all of
were
them-
all okay.
They were all like a year younger going in. My
Yeah.
sister and I were both a year older. So we were the only ones in the neighborhood that stayed back. But like if we didn't, we would have been graduating the same. There would have been 3 sets of twins graduating the same year. But we decided against it. Like, well, not me, but like my mom.
Well, if you'd have stayed at our middle school, there still would have been a decent amount of sets of twins like
Oh,
graduating.
there was so many sets of twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 5 full sets in my senior year graduating class. And
Wow.
and at least
Oh yeah, you did mention this.
and
to
at
me.
least 5 other people that had like brothers.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I don't know what the hell I was on when I was fucking 7. And then we go into 2nd grade,
Yeah.
which another time where we had the same teacher.
Yes. And I'm okay. I think the one main area we can go with this episode is our teachers, because we have a lot of stories about our teachers.
Well, now we're getting to 2nd grade. We have to talk about the most iconic thing about our friendship is the photo. The photo.
This is the one good thing that came out of this year. Can I preface this?
Mm-hmm.
If this teacher, by whatever like miraculous means, is listening to this episode, I don't really care. But there's no chance that she is listening to this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I hated our 2nd grade teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a bias against the boys.
I don't see.
I remember her saying that boys are the devil's spawn.
Oh,
like, I
that
remember
I
her
don't
saying
remember.
that.
What?
Like, she literally hated the boys.
I remember that, but I don't remember her saying that it was like devil's spawn.
Either
or
that, or I heard somebody saying that like about her, like she said, like so, or she
that
thought
doesn't.
that. I don't know.
mean, it doesn't surprise me that she
Yeah.
would say that, but
But like honestly, she hated the boys so much.
no,
and
I
it was
remember.
so bad.
I remember. Like I remember that, but like I don't remember exact details.
Oh, and the worst moment, I remember getting sent to the principal. I got sent to the principal's office for the first 2 years of school, and the 2nd grade reason is really dumb. I remember it vividly. We were on the line, ready to go into the lunch cafeteria, and I was talking to another individual about Halloween costumes. And I did like one of those kind of like when you like pat somebody on the shoulder, like grab their shoulder. And I'm 7. I'm like 6, 7 years old. How freaking hard can I grab this man's shoulder? Like, give it a break.
But you're also not only that, you're grabbing another 7-year-old.
Yes.
So like no, I'm saying that you're like it's not like you're like hitting someone who's like, not even hitting or like touching someone that's smaller than you, you know?
And that person was older than me, too. Please remember, I'm the baby of our grade. I
No,
don't
I
think there
know.
was anyone younger than me. So, like, I just, like, I'm just, like, friendly. I'm just being like, oh, like, you need to do this costume and then, like, do the pound on the shoulder. Like, the pound on the shoulder. And this absolute moron shoots his hand in the air and yells, da-da-da-da, teacher's name? Richard just hit me. And I got sent to the principal's office. I had to apologize to that individual.
Oh, I'm talking now. This is getting me very excited for a story from me in 3rd grade.
I have to say this really
As
quickly,
next,
though.
but-
I have to say this really quickly, though. Little bit of, like, insider info that I have told nobody about this. When I went to the principal's office, this is the reason why I loved our principal for the first 3 years of
So
grammar school.
good.
And you know who exactly
I know
who it is.
exactly who it is.
He sat me down and goes, like, listen, I'm, like, because I'm bawling. Because you know I was a goody two-shoes in elementary
I mean, so
school.
was I.
I was a huge goody two-shoes. And so getting sent to the principal's office is like Satan's work for me. So I remember sitting down with him, and he was, like, completely calming me down and was so good about it. And he looks at me and goes, like, listen, Richard, I am sure that you did not do anything wrong intentionally. I know you. I know you're a good kid. I know you didn't do this, like, wrong. I'm sure that you had no bad intention, but it probably hurt this person. So if you could just apologize to him, please, for me. If for no one else, you don't have to do it for him, for insert teacher's name. Do it for me, and we can talk about it and we can resolve it. He did such a good
Such a
job
nice man.
with kids. Like, he was patient, he was understanding, he was always for the good of the kids.
That was
My
always-
parents was, like, honestly, I think that is the only adult that my parents trusted in that building. And that is why we stayed. Because my parents trusted him so much.
Yeah. No,
Because he
so
knew
good.
how to handle, like, different behaviors of children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm convinced that man had a psychology degree.
Maybe
Like,
he did. I have no idea.
But no, he was so good, and I was so sad after 3rd grade when he left.
But also, we wouldn't even have had him anyway because we moved to the upper school.
No, yeah. And I have a lot of insider stories about parents, and you know all this stuff. I have so many insider stories.
Oh, I'm aware.
So
I'm
funny.
aware. But
I think
for 2nd grade, I have to talk about the picture.
Yes.
Well, this is my story. Okay, basically, one of the only good things our 2nd grade teacher did was that she did this thing where we all like decorated the entire classroom in like a themed like thing, and we would like create projects on it and stuff like that. For our year, we made a rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
So like we made like
This was a great makeup for not doing the kindergarten rocket ship that I missed.
Oh, the rocket ship was so fun though.
I missed the rocket ship.
The rocket ship was fun.
So,
so at the school I was here in kindergarten, like before Richard came.
Because I only got there in 1st grade, and we had very like different timelines. So just for quick background, Kerry was there from Montessori through 6th grade.
I was not there for Montessori. I was there just for
just kindergarten.
Just kindergarten.
Okay, so kindergarten through 6th grade, and I was there from 1st, and I graduated after 8th.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, go ahead.
And so so I did witness the rocket ship. It was great, and I remember, and after we finished it, there was a raffle, and someone in our grade was allowed to take it home.
Yeah.
And the person who did, it was so funny, and my sister got invited to his house to play in his rocket ship. In the rocket ship that he brought. I don't know if I ever told you that, Richard.
No.
But, yeah, no, it was so funny. But 2nd grade picture. So basically, we were decorating like the rainforest for our classroom. Like we were making like these little like string like vines out of like pieces of paper, and like we had like animals and like vines and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the animals. And then we got straw hats.
We got like these like straw like safari hats.
For the record, they are safari hats. They are not.
Yeah, they don't. Our friends do say they look like sombreros.
They're not sombreros.
They're not sombreros.
They're not.
They
that
are
is a disrespect to the Mexican culture. Honestly, to call that a sombrero.
They are safari hats. They are. And so it was like a whole thing. Like parents got to come, and it was a whole like celebration. And, like, we did, like, little presentations. Like, I think we each, like, picked, like, a rainforest animal and, like, did a thing about it. For some reason, I remember doing something with a toucan. I don't know. But, and so, obviously, parents, they love taking pictures. So, my mom took like, a bunch of pictures of me, like, at, like, the rainforest thing. Because, you know, my mom, like, documenting things.
Yes.
And
then, fittingly, we sat next to each other.
So, getting into this, let's go 10 years later. 10 years later, so this is right before freshman year. We mentioned how we met each other up again at the, like, new student send-off thing for our area. And after that event, my mom was like, she's like, I think I have a picture somewhere. And I'm like, what? She goes through, and she finds a picture of the two of us in our safari hats in 2nd grade.
It's so good.
It's such a good picture.
I honestly think we're not gonna reveal it. I think we do it after the face reveal and after we start using cameras.
Yes.
But genuinely, like, I would love to just post it on the recording booth Instagram with zero context. Zero context.
Mm-hmm. It's honestly, I think that should be our reveal picture.
That's the picture we use before we start using camera.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's such a funny picture, and I just remember, like, I think all of our, like, and obviously when I met all of, like, Richard's friends and we started getting friends with the same people, of course I showed them the picture.
Yes, because that's what you do naturally.
Obviously. Like, you can't keep
I did the same thing to
yourself.
Rashik.
Yeah. No. Which I have on my phone. It's great. It's his contact
Isn't that your contact picture? Yeah.
It is. No, and so literally everyone took the picture and made it each of our contact photos.
And I think it's perfect.
Naturally.
I think it's perfect.
I mean, that's your contact picture in my phone.
And I believe that is your contact picture in my phone.
See, perfect. It's great. See, everyone, majority of the group has it. Like, yep, there you go.
I have it, yep.
You have it. I know it's definitely on mine.
Yes.
But it's such a funny picture.
What's really funny is that your mom's reaction to seeing me was like, you have not changed a bit. I was like, I've changed so much.
I look exactly the same.
We look very similar.
Very similar. The only difference is that I have bangs.
Yes.
Like, that was pretty much it.
And thank God you don't anymore.
I know we had this conversation.
We've had this conversation before. Like,
yeah,
genuinely,
I'm very
you
happy.
look much better without the bangs.
I
than with
appreciate
the
that.
bangs.
I appreciate that. Do you know how many people like actually got so mad at me for growing them out?
Really?
Yes.
I think you look better without the bangs than with
they
the bangs.
got so mad at me, I remember, and I'm like, what is up with this? Like, I want to grow them out for like literally like 4 years, and then I do it, and they're like, and then they make some stupid fucking comments. But yeah,
honestly, the bangs did not work.
The bangs, they did for a little bit. They did maybe when I was like that age.
That age, yes, but now
like,
it's not.
As I'm almost 20. If I had them, if I
Yeah.
had them as a 20-year-old, I don't know how I would have.
No, absolutely. No shot.
Also, at college, it's so hard to, like, manage them.
Yeah.
Too. Okay, stop talking about my hair.
For 5 seconds, can we mention that, like, on record, there is 1 month of the year where you are 2 years older than me by number.
Yes.
Carrie's birthday's in October, my birthday's in November. Of different years. So there is 1 month span where you are a whole 2 years older than me.
Yes.
Numerically.
Yep. It's great. Fun feeling. It makes me feel really, really old. But
then what makes you feel really, really young is the fact that you still look up at me.
Okay, yeah.
I'd love to have cameras at some point so we can see your live reactions.
I think one of our first reveal things should be a height check.
Yeah.
A height check? Because I feel like people, like, I think a lot of people that might be listening are thinking that we're playing up how much shorter I am.
Oh, no, we're not.
They're not.
Oh, no, we're
They're
not.
not. They're not. The worst is, like, with Richard and then also with Josh.
Josh is the worst.
Josh is the worst.
Josh is the worst. I have to, like, submit the crown to him. I will sit proudly with my second place if he is first.
Wait,
because
of like
holy
of like
mackerel.
the height jokes or just like
yes,
height?
the height jokes.
Oh yeah. Well, no, then you gotta add Bryce to that too.
Yeah. No, but Josh is clear. He is clearly for number one.
Winner.
Me and Bryce have to take. Me and Bryce have to take several seats to second place.
There's so many stories with all the height jokes they've made.
Yeah.
So funny. I mean,
the Lost Kid tag.
Lost Kid tag. So we went to New York State Fair basically, and we thought it'd be really funny to prank someone by putting one of the
Lost
Kid tag on something. And so we had it like with us, and we're like, who are we gonna do?
You put on the panda that I won in a mini game.
We were originally gonna do it to Dan, I remember, and we were gonna do it to either you or Dan. We couldn't, or maybe it was Elle. I don't remember. We were gonna do it to someone, and then we just never got to it. And then Caroline just had it in her pocket the entire time. And then you won like a panda.
Yeah, and then you tied it on the panda.
And then you went to the bathroom or something, and we're all sitting there, and I'm like, Caroline, give it to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, so she gives it to me. And then I put it on the panda, and I'm hiding. It's like, there was like this like rope like tag thing.
Yes.
On the top of it, so I just put it on that, and then I hit it.
Yeah, it's what they hooked it on for the display.
Yeah. So then I that's where I tied it on, and then I like hit it I held it against my chest, so I hit it, and then I handed it to you, and you just didn't.
I didn't realize for the first few minutes, and then I I looked at it, and then I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
And then
you gave it to me, and then I thought it was really funny.
And
so
we tied it on your belt.
I tied it
on like the belt hooks.
Like the belt straps of my shorts.
Yes.
And I thought it was really funny. And somewhere there is a picture of like I got like one of those like.
I took the 0.5. It was me. I took the 0.5 picture.
It just makes me look really, really short.
It's really, really funny.
It's really funny. But, like, it makes me look insanely short. And then I just have the tag, and you can see it, and it's now hung up in my room. Here. It's literally on my little corkboard thing. It's right there. Yeah. I should fill out the little, like, profile information, though. That would be really funny if I fill it out. But, yeah. So, I'm short. It's been like that. I remember, like, going back.
You were the third. Yeah, I was gonna say, let's reset her, but you were the third shortest in the grade.
I remember whenever we would have to do, like, communion. Since we're still talking about second grade, we went to Catholic school, which means we got our first communion. First communion. And I remember, for some reason, the way that they did it is that we went in height order. So I was like the third or fourth.
You were the third shortest. You were the third shortest in the grade. So you were the second, and you were the second shortest girl.
Yes.
Was the shortest the girl or the boy?
Boy.
Boy, but I think now it's girl.
Now it's girl.
Like, okay, like
actually,
as we got older.
Actually, I don't know about that.
I remember this at graduation. I think it was girl that was shortest.
That makes sense.
At second grade, when we were younger, it was boy that was the shortest. It was him, and then her, and then you.
Yes, and then my sister was right behind me. For the longest time, my sister was...
You're taller than Lindsay, though, right?
Now I am.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't.
I think we can name drop Lindsay.
If there's
Lindsay.
anyone we can name drop, it's my sister.
Yes.
You know? So basically honestly, for the longest time, my sister was, like, a good head taller than me.
Yeah.
There was, like,
Wasn't there a time where there was somebody between you guys?
Probably.
It was a very short time, I think.
Probably.
I think for, like, 1 year, there was somebody that was between you.
Now I'm, like, 3 inches taller than her.
Yeah.
She's, like...
Reclaiming your throne.
I mean, she's, like, 4'11", 5 feet, like, 5 flat. I'm, like, 5'2"-ish.
You're also old. You're also the older twin.
Not by a lot, but yeah, I'm older. By 1 minute.
You can't. There's not a lot. There's not like. I mean, like a lot is still for like 15 minutes. Like it's not.
I know. But
there's not much of a lot when it comes to being older as a twin.
I mean, my sister loves reminding me that the 1 minute doesn't matter. Well, I mean, obviously not now, but
you have the greatest roast ready though. You're the greatest roast whenever you need it though.
Oh, I know.
That was the greatest 1 minute of my life.
Oh, do you think I haven't done that already?
Of course.
Of course I have.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would be missing out if I didn't.
But yes, going back to communion.
Once again bringing it back from my height. Communion, Catholic school, great. Oh my God, those.
Were you toward the front or the end then?
Front.
Because we went from shortest to tallest. Because
Yeah.
there were more tall kids than short kids.
Wasn't it with it was like boys and girls?
Yes, it was one boy, one girl, one boy, one girl, one boy, one girl. So I know that the two short went in. The two that were shorter than you went in together.
Mm-hmm. I have a really funny story about this. Do you
remember who you went in with?
Yes.
I remember who I went in with.
I'm not gonna say who it is.
We can talk about it later. We can name drop later, but go ahead.
But this story is so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Oh my God, I still have another one. So basically, the person that I got matched with was someone that was actually in my original kindergarten class.
Oh, cool.
And so his mom emailed my mom.
Oh boy.
And said he's really excited to walk down with Kerry.
Oh boy.
And
and I know this individual for sure.
Yes, you know this individual.
Oh boy.
Yes, you know who this is. And it was so funny. And I don't know if you remember this, but my mom brought gifts for everyone for communion.
I think so.
She got custom Hershey bars. They had these wrappers on them.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, and so she gave them out to everyone. And then I remember the same kid came up to my mom and was like, "Thank you, Mrs. Thank you." And then went away, but he was so excited to walk down with me. So much so that his mom emailed my mom on his behalf. And oh my God.
I'm not going to expose myself because I remember who I walked down with, and I'm not going to expose myself on this podcast. We're not doing that.
No.
And I think that should tell you who I walked down with.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think you've put two and two together right now.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I will tell you who my person is later, and I'm very excited for your reaction for it. I'm sorry.
I think I have some ideas of who it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Just really quick, is this an individual that, namely, we speak positively about or speak somewhat negatively about?
We've spoken of them. I don't remember whether it was positive or negative.
Okay, that does some stuff. I'm trying to remember who was at that height range.
Mm-hmm.
No,
don't stop guessing.
Okay, for the record, I'm writing. I have my notes app open, and I'm
writing. I'm guessing names. No,
because I'm just trying to think who was of the shorter end of the guys.
I'm telling you later. I can't fucking wait for this. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay, moving on. 3rd grade.
No, but I think is
that
everything on 2nd grade? I'm trying to think if there's anything left on.
I mean, Rainforest Communion. And bad teacher.
Yeah. The thing I will say, it was kind of difficult for your parents, or it just kind of in general, because when stuff was done for one twin,
mm-hmm.
It kind of had been done for the other twin.
Well, yeah.
For example, when y'all had your birthdays, 'cause I remember your birthday at Life, the place to be.
I never had a birthday party at Life.
Yes, you did, because I remember going.
What was
it was
Life?
2nd or 3rd grade.
What was at Life?
Do you remember Life, the place to be? It was an arcade and all this stuff.
I never had a birthday party there.
Yes. Oh, he had the party there, but I remember
there.
I remember
It was
being
someone
at one of your
else's.
birthday parties.
It was
At
someone
least.
else's. Our birthdays were very close to each other.
But it's also a matter of just like I remember like when you invited the whole class of one twin and then you had to invite the whole class of the other to one birthday and then
Yeah.
but then
yeah.
there's one class that got left out because there were 3 homerooms in our school.
I don't care about the third.
I know, but it's so funny to me to think that there's that entire homeroom class is just like, well, damn. Well,
Yeah.
shucks. We didn't get invited
Didn't
to
get
a party that the entire other 2, like the entire rest of the grade
there were a lot of other
got
people-
invited to.
There were a lot of people I didn't invite to things.
Oh, no,
in my
yeah.
grade. I mean, like, obviously, like, majority of our friends were, like, in our homerooms, so obviously it made
No,
sense.
that's true. No, that's true. 100%.
Yeah, but, okay, no, I
Third
think...
grade,
third
you think of a funny story.
Yeah, okay, so I personally love... Did we have this... We did have different... Did we have the same third grade teacher?
I think we did. I think we did. I think it's... If I'm not mistaken, this is the same teacher that tutored you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we did.
Sorry
Right.
for saying yes so much. Just
I know,
we like confirmation.
Yeah, we like confirmation. That we will, yeah. So basically, third grade teacher, I absolutely love this teacher.
She was great.
I don't know how you felt.
Okay, personally, I never had any like issues with her. She was pretty good. Yeah.
I see. It might be because the fact that apparently everyone thought that I was the favorite kid, which is like stupid. I mean, like I remember, like, yeah, I don't know. I remember. Oh my god, that was like.
I think it's because it goes deeper. Because, like I said, you were tutored by this.
Well,
by a
I
specific
actually
teacher.
didn't start meeting with her like
Until after we had her?
after.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is it like your mom liked her that much?
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess
She was also really good at teaching
she was
that
really
subject.
good.
If I'm not
She was
mistaken,
really
with
good.
math.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's what she helped me with math.
And she was pretty good
Yeah,
with that subject as
I
well.
will get to that story. It's very funny. So so like the story that I'm getting to, like actually from this year is because you were talking about your experiences going to the principal's office. This is mine.
Oh boy.
This is mine.
Is this the teacher that sent you to the principal? Or was it
no
one of the other third grade teachers?
no neither.
A teacher from a different grade?
Nope. Student.
Say what?
So
Oh yeah.
clear my throat again. So there is a student who was in our grade. She, I wasn't really that close with her. She was close with my sister, I think. And in the cafeteria, there was, like, you know, they have, you know, lots of options. And it was, like, the look on your face, I just told you who it was. Oh, God.
No
Yeah.
way.
So basically, we were eating lunch, and then she had a cookie, and I think I either took the cookie.
Wasn't this like her second year at the school too?
No. Okay. Yeah.
This is her second year at the school.
Yes. Okay. So basically, she was like, I think I stole her cookie or something.
Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure I stole it. Genuinely, I'm pretty sure I stole it.
Kerry.
And we were in our class, and we had a movie night. We were watching a movie, and I was sitting, like, really like, close to the door, I remember, and then it was also one of the dress down days. That I remember, too. And then, so the phone's ringing, and our teacher goes up to the phone, calls, and, like, hears about it, and she's like, Kerry, you need to go down to the principal's. And I'm like, okay. And I don't remember what I thought it was. I remember going down and being really nervous, and I sat down. He looks at me, and he was like, why, like, I got a complaint that you stole her cookie.
Oh my god.
I got called down
for a cookie.
As a 9-year-old for stealing a cookie.
Here's what I'm gonna say though.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the individuals to deal with that issue, if I were you, I'd be happy that it was the principal.
Oh,
because
agreed.
Because if any individual knew how to deal with that situation with both girls coming out happy, it was the principal.
I remember, and I was terrified. This has never happened to me. I've never been to, like, the principal's in my life. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
shaking,
because I'm, like, fucking 9, and I'm like, this has never happened to me before. And then I'm like, and I remember I got back, and apparently from what I remember, I ended up talking to my teacher after about it. She, like, asked me if I was okay. I was apparently, like, completely, like, white as a ghost. I was, like, so, like, shaky, and I was sitting there, like, in my seat, just, like, so upset. And then everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No." And I obviously didn't say why. And then,
Yeah.
and when I got back, I remember if I had to like formally apologize to her or not. But then we
Oh,
just,
for me, for my situation in second grade, the principal brought in that student for me to do it on spot
Did I
in
have
the
that?
office.
No, that happened to me a few years later.
Yeah. Because
Not
he
at our
pref-
middle
because
school, but it
he
happened to me.
knowing how I was and how the other one was, he knew that for my psyche, it would be better for me to say it to him in person
Right.
rather
makes
than
sense. That makes
like
sense.
do it in front of the whole class.
No, obviously.
Also, especially because
it's just weird.
Also, especially because the teacher's the one that reported it to him,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
not the child. Like in your situation.
Yeah, no, the child. A 9-year-old went to the principal's office because I stole a fucking cookie. And I gave it back. Did I mention that? I gave it back.
We were like 8, 9 years old. That's kind of stupid.
I didn't mention that, but I did give it back. At that moment. I think I took it for a second, and then I saw she looked upset, so I handed it back, and then she went to the principal on me.
That's the worst part of it all. If you had taken it and eaten it on spot,
No,
that's different.
I'm not that bad of a. I wasn't that bad of a kid.
No, you weren't.
But like,
Not at all.
no, I didn't preface that, but I did give it back.
Here's the thing. For me personally, what I just remembered is I don't know if I got sent to the principal by this individual or not. Just the thing is, for me, I don't think it's the fact that I was like a bad or a naughty child. I was a like difficult child. Like the thing is, like teachers needed patience for me, and that's obviously here's the thing. Not like completely unbiased, like for any child, that's not a bad thing.
No.
Children grow up acting different ways, and every child is different and needs to be handled differently.
Of course.
But some teachers, namely the second grade teacher, like, and some other teachers, some teachers just need patience with certain children.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you don't know what that child's going through. You don't know what is happening at home. You don't know what's happening in general.
I just don't understand how people can become teachers if they don't have like any level of patience.
Patience. Especially for younger children.
Younger children.
Younger children
I'm-
you need a lot of patience with.
But also, like, if you don't, it really, really influences them in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Like, I don't know. Well,
Like, okay, and I think I'm gonna make a great segue. Good teachers make such a positive impact
Yes.
as well on the flip side. And with that said, we need to go to, I still regard this as one of my favorite teachers I've ever had in my entire life. Definitely my favorite I've ever had in middle elementary
that
school.
I agree with. I don't know about all time.
And it is our 4th grade teacher.
4th grade.
Okay, you want patience in a dictionary? That is this individual.
Yes.
So good. I have so many stories.
So many good stories.
And I have so many stories, and none of them are negative.
No.
None of them are negative. Even if you think it'll start positive and negative, it's gonna end positive.
I can't think of anything. Actually, no.
Okay, I have one. Okay, so there's an individual, and if you remember, this teacher did, chores, and one of the chores, the
yes,
coveted chore was
the phone.
the phone.
The phone.
Like, everybody wanted the phone chore. It's like, whenever the phone rings,
I hate it.
The child went up and was like, hi, like, for example, for me, it's like, hi, this is Mrs. Hanratty's room, this is Richard, how can I help you? Like, something like that. Like, just like,
yeah.
I remember everybody wanted that chore. And it was
never
coveted.
I never wanted because it gave me anxiety.
And I remember
it started early.
And I remember I got it on a certain day, and basically it was like 2 kids got it every day. One person got it in the morning, one kid got it in the afternoon. And I remember I got it in the afternoon, and somebody else got it in the morning. Do you remember who this individual is?
Yes.
Okay. So the individual that got it in the morning had to leave early that day, and our teacher was like, hey, Richard just wanted to make sure that you remember, like, that the individual who's doing it in the morning, they're going to pick up the phone in the afternoon at this time because they're going home.
Right.
Now, Richard, little 4th grade Richard, with zero concept of time, heard the phone ring, got super excited because I didn't realize it was time for them to go home yet. I ran over, picked up the phone, and I remember the teacher, she yelled, she screamed at me to get away from the phone. And I remember getting startled and scared, and because, listen, in all seriousness, prefacing right now, little Richard was a absolute baby. Like, there are better words I could use to describe it, but I fear to use an inappropriate word. But Richard was a baby. And so I, like, stepped down from the chair because we needed stools because the phone was high because it was meant for only teachers.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I, like, got off the stool and I just, just started crying.
Mm-hmm.
Awful. She quickly, teacher quickly got the kid to the phone, kid went home. And I remember for, 5 solid minutes, like an absolute moron, just standing there crying into our teacher's shoulder. But she was so good about it.
So good.
Like, she was, apologizing profusely and was like, I didn't mean to startle you. I think it was the fact that I liked this teacher so much I didn't want to, disappoint, so to say, them.
Yeah, but
coupled with the absolute startling of not expecting, because I forgot that it was going to happen.
Right.
And so I was completely startled by the yell.
Right.
Also because we never saw that side of that teacher yet. This was a teacher that was not known for yelling in a negative way.
Never.
She never yelled in a negative way, never raised her voice in a negative way. Mm-hmm. If she would raise her voice, just, get attention, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was, the startling and, didn't want to, disappoint her, and, she was really good with it.
Really good. Now,
so good with it.
For 4th grade, I gotta talk about the cake.
Yeah.
The Halloween.
And when you talk about the Halloween picture.
Well, that's...
Yeah, that's coupled with this story, yeah.
So, we, had, class parties in, our middle school.
I honestly feel like, if you went to a middle school that did not have class parties, you missed out.
So, our big thing, we had a Halloween party, I remember, and we, in a few weeks prior, we took a group picture as a class.
Yes.
And my mom, being the mom that she was, decided... My mom was very involved in a lot of, party planning and stuff, and events, school, for, our classes and stuff. And so my mom got a cake for the class. And on the cake, she got, the picture that we took a few weeks prior, printed.
Was it the picture
that your dad took?
Yes, because my dad took that picture. But my question is, did the picture that she put on the cake have the writing and everything that my dad put? I think it did.
I think it did.
So
basically, how our school worked is that if you're, parties in the class, certain parents could volunteer. And so I believe that, I don't remember exactly what party it was, but I think your dad must have volunteered for one earlier. And then when it got to my mom's turn, she had the picture already.
Yes.
So she got
And my dad edited it.
Yeah, edited it and then
I think he sent it to all the parents.
Probably sent it to all the parents, and then
because he also printed them out and sent them, and I have mine. It's in my 4th grade yearbook.
I don't know if I have mine, but so my mom basically put it on a cake, and it's so funny looking at that picture. What's even funnier about it is that about 2 years ago, one of our classmates from that class posted it on her Instagram story and also tagged a couple people on it, including myself. And I remember responding to it and I was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. And this is probably junior year of high school, senior year. So this is before Richard and I were even reconnected. And it was just so funny to look on it. And also I looked so bad. I was hiding. You can only see my face very briefly, all the way in the back. It's not even because of, my height, but also, I was a very, I don't think I was a very, quiet kid. But I feel like I kind of...
But in a lot of ways, you kind of were.
I feel like I kind of kept to myself a lot.
You did.
And I never made a scene. I was never, I think for the most part, I was just, there.
I think that's one of the reasons why we were never, officially, friends, because we never had the same groups. We weren't, the kind of type that would go out of our way to meet other people because we already had our people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and also 4th grade is kind of, the year of, I don't want to say my downfall, but, this is where all of, my shit and the reason why I decided to leave started. Because I got into a lot of girl drama, as one does, and it ended up, I don't know, it was so stupid. I remember it was over a fucking friendship bracelet. It was over a bracelet, I remember, and then we got, on different sides of the playground, and it was, a whole thing, and I don't know, it was weird. But, yeah, 4th grade. And I don't know if we have any other stories to talk about. For fourth grade?
Fourth grade?
All I can really think of is just how good our teacher was, and then you with the phone.
We
and
still
the photo.
talk about like
We
how
still talk about
good
the
that
teacher,
teacher
and
was.
we actually went back to.
We tried.
We drove by it.
We also know that she's still there.
Yeah, she's still a faculty member there as of right now, and we what's it called? So I ended up visiting Richard back in June, and we were driving around, and we're like, let's see if we can get into the building and see if we can see her.
I wish we could.
I know, we left too late. We totally would have if we like.
Probably would have at dismissal.
Yeah, that would have been. We should still go though.
I plan on it because I honestly will be
You have to wait
really.
For me though. Wait for me.
Oh, 100%. I'm not gonna go back there like without you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will say I'm very surprised. I would be very surprised if that individual like left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
like
know.
in the near future, like I think like this year and next year we're still gonna get like one more chance to get it done.
Yeah.
If you come to New York in like May or June and like come visit me again, then I think we'll be able to.
Yeah. No, I definitely will. I probably will.
I have a lot of like the thing is the real stories start coming out in 5th grade.
5th grade, and fifth like if I said that like.
Because that was the beginning of my mental downfall.
Yeah, I mean, 4th grade was kind of like the slight beginning. 5th grade is where like it actually kind of became like prominent. Well, for me at least, 5th grade came with the arrival of a student who shall not be named. Well, you guys won't know, but I'm saying that because I don't feel like I hate her. And I remember, yeah, I see the recognition on your face. I see recognition. Yeah, so basically, she stole my best friend, and she treated me like shit, and no, not that.
Wait, I'm trying to think who came in 5th grade.
Give me the phone.
No, I want to guess. So you keep talking, and I'm gonna.
She didn't come in 5th grade.
Yeah, she came earlier.
She was in kindergarten.
Oh right.
Yeah. So basically, this girl practically treated me like garbage, and then that led to everyone else treating me like garbage, and then I got and then this was either this year, like that year, or the next year, but I did get tinnitus.
Who the heck came in 5th? You know what? Here, I'm giving Kerry my phone. I can't, and it's gonna hit me, and Kerry's gonna be like, oh my god, look at his face, and oh my god!
Yep.
That's right!
Yeah.
Really?
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, look, she didn't give me tinnitus, I got it at her house. For okay, tinnitus is not, like, to reference what tinnitus is, it basically...
For those who don't know.
Basically who don't know, it's like a thing where, like, your ears start ringing randomly. And I got it because a girl kicked me in the ear on a trampoline. We were playing, like, popcorn. Okay.
Oh, no.
We were playing... No. We were
on a trampoline?
No, we were playing Zombie. It was, like,
jeez.
game. So, basically, someone is, like, lying in the middle, and you have to close your eyes, and people are, like, standing and jumping, and you have to grab onto someone's leg, and then whoever you catch is the next person. So, I was the person in the middle, and I grabbed this girl's leg, and to yank me off, she starts repeatedly kicking me in the head.
Oh my god!
She starts kicking me in the head.
That's awful.
Yeah. Yup. She starts like fucking kicking me, and then I'm like, what the fuck? I get up, obviously I see who it is, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
And it's her?
No, it was at her house.
Okay.
Different girl who kicked me. And I remember I like touched my ear, looked back, and there was blood.
Oh no.
And I'm like, this is, yeah.
Yeah, no, because I need to know. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember I got to school the next day, and she was like, hey, like, are you okay? I heard what happened. And I was like, you heard what happened? You fucking did it to me. Yes. And she asked me if I was okay. And I'm like, you're the one who fucking did it.
The best part of this all is that this is the same individual.
That you're...
With the phone in 4th grade.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, yeah. And then she also had a rainbow balloon business that she literally was selling bracelets for like $5. They're fucking rubber bands. They're rubber bands that you make into a bracelet. You cannot sell for fucking $5. Like,
It was worth $1.
$1 at least, at most.
At
It
most.
could have been like 50 cents.
The whole kit probably cost $5.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
But, okay.
Yeah, that was...
I want to do my 5th grade story, because there's...
Yeah,
the thing is
go
that
ahead.
you know who the main antagonist
course.
is of my last
Of course.
4 years of middle school.
Right, of course.
And so, where it all started was, I remember, there was a lot of beef coming in, because the individual that was my first friend at this school was also friends with this individual, and like this individual was I would like to think he was jealous kind of the fact that he had to share his best friend with somebody else. And so it was time to do, and we got the same homeroom, and it was time to do a project. And I chose another friend of mine who I don't know what is up with this kid now, but that's a whole other thing. And it was me and him, and then we were like, okay, fine, we'll take this kid. Now the issue is that me and my friend, namely, did not like this individual.
No.
So he comes over to my house, and my dad goes up to him and is like, oh, do you need any help with the computer and stuff? And this kid literally whips around and barks at my dad, goes, did I tell you this story?
I don't think so.
He whips around, barks at my dad, goes, I don't need your help, I'm not an idiot. And like starts ranting off about how my dad thinks like he's an idiot, and how like my dad is the idiot for thinking that he needs help with a computer. This is 5th grade.
Okay, you did not tell
Barking
me
at my father.
Jesus.
So literally, when we sent them both like home eventually, and then my mom looks at me and goes, "We are never having that child under our roof ever again, and if we do, we will literally go and report it to upper powers." She was like, I will not allow disrespectful children under my roof.
Oh, of course.
Like, and this was the second time he had been at my house, and he was already an issue the first time. Because the first time he came over was with that friend. And the only reason we had him over was because he wanted to have both friends together. Which, bless his soul, because we know he's nice.
Yeah.
But, yes, the other genius.
Okay, you did not. That is.
Yeah, the reason we don't like him is because the first interaction he really had with my parents seriously was barking at my dad about how my dad is an idiot, for wanting to help him with a computer. It's not even like he took over. My dad was like, "Hey, do you need any help?"
Which is like a decent question. It's like that's a good question to ask. You're being nice.
Yes, we were like shocked. Like, I was fuming.
No,
I was fuming, because you know how much I care about my family. I was fuming.
Of course, I would be too. I would also be upset about that.
No, yeah. And, like, there's so many long stories that I don't even have, like, the liberty of saying on this podcast.
No, I don't think we can.
You know exactly which story I'm thinking of right now.
I know.
And, like, I'm just gonna write it down so that you, just to,
I think I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't even talk about that, because that is
for... Yeah, that is...
That is, like, legitimately, if that ever got out, that is, like...
Yeah.
Is that a jailable offense?
Maybe. Probably.
And the worst part of it all is that the child is not even the one in trouble.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think that's the thing. That's probably
we can't
talk about it.
But I think, like, okay, knowing what I know now and being much more mature, I think you can agree to this. Because we talked about this before. I think part of maturing is understanding the things that happened in the past, why they happened. And, like...
But also taking into account, like, how other people...
I got a lot of closure of, like not even needing to hear the closure from the people. Just, I got a lot of closure from just understanding psychology myself. And understanding a lot of things, like... A lot of things you can't even blame these kids for. It's a matter of you have to blame the parents for allowing these kids to think this way, because I think it's a cliche saying, but it's very true. It's racism isn't taught.
No.
And like disrespect isn't taught. Like kids aren't sorry.
It is. Well,
kids racism is taught. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the matter of like it's not
like a natural
it's not genetic.
Thing.
It's not like
you're born,
exactly. You're not born
and suddenly are like you're born being racist
or being like disrespectful. It's not like that. Like you need to be taught by somebody to act that way.
Exactly.
Like monkey see, monkey do. Literally.
No, that's literally
So many things that I heard that were so nasty from different kids were things that were just repeated to me by things that that kids heard from their parents and then went to school and repeated it because they thought it was funny. And what makes it even funnier is we talk about it, like, I've spent time with these individuals outside of school and outside, like, the big, and it shows that it does become peer pressure.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there are, like, some of these kids that were so nasty to me, like, were so nice to me outside of the classroom and outside of school.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's kind
Yeah.
of weird. It's kind of like, why are you and, like, as a kid, you think to yourself, why are you acting, like, to me, why are you acting this
So
way
mean
towards
to
me
me
this way, this
yeah.
time, but not another time?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the number one story that I love from 5th grade, and I think it needs to be said this episode, regardless of, you know, whatever, is the fact that my family got a teacher freaking demoted.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
So basically, my 5th grade teacher, because the thing is, 5th grade was the first time Kerry and I had different teachers.
Different teachers.
And I think I had this, 5th grade, I didn't have a class with you or your sister, but 6th grade I had a class, I was in the same class as Lindsay.
Yes. Yeah, so 4th grade was the last year we were in the same class.
Yes. 5th grade, like, our teacher was new. She was new to the school. That was her first year.
You had the new teacher, okay.
And I remember my class is the first and only class that was ever taught 5th grade by this teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a matter of, like, I would come to her and complain about, the bullying that I was receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't do jack.
No.
She would just, it was, like, honestly, like, the cliche of just, like, a slap on the wrist. Like, literally, it was, okay, I don't know if anybody's seen these TikToks where it's, like, oh, I'm being bullied, and then the teacher's like, okay, I've spoken to him, I've dealt with it, and then it's like, what did you do? You just made me public enemy number 1. You just made it worse.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
Like, not that these kids ever got suspended, but, like, in the TikToks, it's like, oh, you suspended him? What? To delay the inevitable whooping I'm gonna get in 3 days when he comes back?
Exactly.
Like, you're not doing anything. You're not achieving anything.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
These children need therapy. They don't
They
need...
need to be fucking disciplined.
They need discipline.
or
They
need
need
to be
therapy.
told.
Like, it's like, okay, saying that's not okay. That's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens? They're told it's bad, then they go home, complain to mom and dad,
And then they go to the school.
and then mom and dad go to the school and be like, you're wrong for telling my child that he misbehaved. Like, what are you achieving? And it got really bad, and I ended up going to camp with the individual that was my main, like, bully throughout, like, my childhood years. And the behavior continued, and my mom picked me up one day, and he was like, and he literally yelled, like, laughing at my mom, going, like, oh my god, Richard, look, your fat mom's here. I was like, whoa. And when my mom heard that, she went to the principal. I remember, like, I went to that meeting because, like, I had nowhere else to go. She wasn't going to leave the 5th grader alone.
Right.
So I went in, and it was a meeting. It was the teacher, the assistant principal, and my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And they just told me to sit outside of the office. I don't know if you remember how the assistant principal's office is built. There's, like, the chairs outside that I sat over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard my mom with her immigrant accent ripping it. And the reason I say immigrant is because, let me tell you, like, no disrespect to anybody else, but from personal experience, immigrant mothers, they go in.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to defending their children, they go the hell in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't hold back nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't, like, really...
And, like, she went in, she was, like, screaming at them. She did examples of what this kid did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the teacher, and it's really funny because, like, the teacher and assistant principal were, like, apologizing profusely, and regardless of if it was genuine or not, here's what resulted of it. The teacher was demoted to 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the spot, not in front of my mother, but
the next
she
year,
was.
Or the following year.
Yeah, the following year. And it's really funny because, really quickly, quick short tangent, when I went back during high school, I ran into this teacher, and we had, like, a whole hi, and I put on my best customer service face and character.
Of course.
And I flipped it on, and I go to the kids, because it's during freaking dismissal. And I go to, like, in front of kids and parents, I was like, and I am one of the lucky students who got to have Miss Milady for her only 5th grade class.
Oh.
And I just realized I said her name.
Oh.
Whoopsie daisy.
Well, it's not like she's going to be watching this.
No. And so she was like, oh, that's so sweet. And I was like, okay, here's the thing. In all benefit, this is not me trying to cover my own ass, but truthfully, like, she seems like a nice lady. Like, genuinely. She wasn't, like, a mean person.
No.
Like, the thing is, it's one of the great examples of, like, where you're not mad at the person, you're mad at the behavior.
Yes.
It's not like I have anything, like, against the teachers specifically.
I
It's
really
a matter of just like, I'm just frustrated that more action wasn't taken.
Oh, I know the feeling of hating the behavior and not the actual person.
Exactly.
I believe me that I feel that way with a lot of people.
Yeah, and like we'll never have anything against that person specifically. Like I'm sure she's a nice person and she was a good teacher and a nice person.
Yeah.
But it's just like, as somebody who is told when children have an issue, you are supposed to take action. It frustrated me and my family that there was no action taken.
See, that's why. Well, I never did anything about any of the stuff that I ended up going through when I was at school because one, I never fucking told anyone because I immediately had instilled in me that no one would fucking listen to me.
Yeah.
So I never said anything, and when it did get to a point, I never got closure because my resolution was to transfer.
Yeah. What really quick, the other thing that came out of the meeting was that the assistant principal, because he was outgoing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
And so he wrote a note in front of my mother for the next principal and left it in the assistant principal's office right there. Left a note for the next one. That these two have to be in separate homerooms.
I remember you telling me.
So for the next 3 years, we weren't allowed to be in the same homeroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, physically, you knew, like, everybody knew, you were either getting me or the other kid.
Mm-hmm.
You were definitely not going to get both of us.
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean...
And let the record state, my 6th and 8th grade teachers, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
My 6th grade teacher, you know who it is, because Lindsay had him.
Yes.
And I think the fact that I said him says a lot, because you know who it is now.
I knew who it was.
I love that teacher, like, even through part of high school, still
kind of,
sent my family Christmas cards.
He was kind of terrified of my mother, but did I tell you the story?
Yeah.
For, like, I'll tell it. Basically, for the parent-teacher conferences, my mom went to go meet with my sister's teacher, and so how, like, it worked when we got to, like, 5th grade is that we actually rotated all the teachers, and they each taught different subjects. We did. And so he taught math for us in 6th grade.
I love him.
And so she was going there technically to represent both of us.
Yeah, technically, because he technically taught both of you math, yeah.
So, talking to him, and then my mom is a big businesswoman, so I guess she can sometimes be intimidating to insecure men. But this is not the only time this has happened with male faculty members. It happened to me in high school. With a male teacher.
Yeah, you did mention that to me.
Yeah. That is a fun story.
But yeah.
And so basically my mom, I don't remember why she was getting so this teacher gave my mom every single math textbook for our year for like 6th grade and just like sent her to her car and like basically like pushed her out, but like got so intimidated by her that he gave her every single textbook that we were going to need for her own copy. Not for us, but for her own copy. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how my mom got it, but like...
I loved that teacher. That teacher was really good.
No, he was nice. I remember. Yeah.
And 8th grade, I think I told you who I had for 8th grade.
Yeah, I mean,
I really liked that teacher.
I wasn't there for 8th grade, so I don't...
No, yeah. The thing is, the great thing about that teacher was that she understood how to handle a child that was dealing with racism. Because she was a child who dealt with racism.
Right.
And so I don't think... Like, I think this goes universally for any, like, ism or any, like, issue like that. Like, you cannot fully understand what it's like, and you can't fully relate and know how to handle it to the best of, to the best possibility unless you've gone through it. And for her being somebody that's gone through it, she knew how to deal with us and how to deal with what we were going through. And it was really tough, I think, for her to watch kids go through the same thing that she was going through, regardless of how she felt about me and the other student as, like, people, whether she, like, liked us or not, or whether we were difficult or not. I think just universally it was difficult for her to see us go through that, knowing firsthand what it's like.
Of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
7th grade, she was okay. My 7th grade teacher was okay. 8th, but the math teacher, 7th and 8th grade math teacher, I have a lot of, like, gratitude for, because that teacher actually worked before coming to our middle school, she worked at the high school that I went to. And so she knew things and helped me out, and she was the one who pushed me to take the algebra regents exam, which got me bumped up to geometry, which made me miss a difficult teacher for algebra plus,
Nice.
which I'm really grateful for. And so, no, yeah, middle school was a bit of a roller coaster. In 7th grade and 8th grade, I almost left the school and went to the same place that I did pre-K 4 in.
Really? Oh, I didn't.
Do you know what that place is?
Yes.
Okay, I almost went back there, which was really funny because if I had gone back, I would have met some of the guys that ended up going to high school with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, that's so funny.
I want to have one of them on at some point. I think it would be really fun.
Yeah.
And so
I can find one of my high school friends.
I think there should be one episode where we both bring in one of our high school friends and do like a
I'm
high
trying to
school
think who
episode.
would be most willing to do it.
But yeah, I think but I remember the reason I didn't want to leave was because of my two friends. I remember calling them and going like, my mom is going to make me transfer and I don't want to leave you guys. I also feel, and you know what, this was probably one of the only mature things that I had like going for me in middle school was I go, get ready for this statement. I go, I feel like if I transfer, I'm letting them win.
Ooh. That's what I remember.
And I was like, I want the satisfaction of graduating. And the most like wonderful moment for me was the main bully that I had in middle school going up and getting the honors medal and letting him sit there and not get one was really funny. Also because the bar was so low. The bar was like you needed a 90 GPA.
What? Wait.
That bar is pretty freaking low.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is, our graduating class is regarded as one of like the dumbest because we are the first graduating class, I think I told you this, to not send any of the boys to Regis High School.
Yes. No, I remember. Well,
like we were, they thought we were all dumb, and we were also the first to send 2 boys to my high school. I think we were the first to send somebody to
not to my high school.
To Kerry Catholic.
I think you might be right.
I went to Salesian, because I think just name dropping high schools is fine.
Yeah.
I went to Salesian High School in New Rochelle, which I actually liked, and so yeah, I know for sure that we were the first ones to send there.
Yeah.
You went to a high school that
I went to a high school that a lot of people went to. A lot of people actually. So the middle school that I ended up going. Well, so when I transferred middle schools, the one that I went to ended up was also a high school. So a lot of people that would graduate through 8th grade would come to my high school. And a lot of people that were in our grade left early from our old middle school to go to my new one. And I remember I got there and there's already at least 6 people that were from our old school going in. And I'll also say what school. I went to Ursuline, also in New Rochelle. And which I just found out that we both went to schools in New Rochelle.
Our high schools are actually pretty close.
They are pretty close. Because I remember we drove to both of them over the summer. That was funny. But yeah, no, it was, a big thing, that was always something that I always thought about, when I left, and I'm like, am I letting them win? And I know, I obviously haven't really gotten, fully in depth in, the stuff that I went through, but I also had my own bully. You know who it is. But, it, which definitely caused, a lot of shit. And I ended up leaving, and then apparently she ended up apologizing to everyone, and everyone got closure except for me. And I remember, I just felt, so, I just felt so shitty about it, and I'm like, why, I don't know. But, I obviously went through, since you get to talk about your later years in middle school, I get to talk about mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
7th grade, I got threatened because I became friends with a girl.
My God.
So when I got to my new middle school, one of my first friends, I'm not gonna say her name, but I know Richard knows the name because I've mentioned her before. We became really close, and obviously, so I came as a 7th grader, and the school year started in 6th. You start 6th, so all these girls were already here a year prior, and so I. Yeah. And so I basically became friends with this girl, and we had every class together. We were always together. And then in our gym class, this other classmate came up to me and was like, "If you continue being friends with her, I'm gonna ruin your life.
Oh my god.
Some crazy thing like that. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, and I like was like just kind of like on the verge of like leaving a very, very bad situation for me that I left at old middle school. And I was like, my whole thing is I don't want shit like this again. This is literally maybe a month into the new school. And I'm like, I hate this. It was like so bad. And I remember, she kept on like, I just like, I remember like the friend and I, we like talked about it and we're like, this is so weird. And the person who was giving me the threats would like give me weird looks and would be like, oh, like you better stay away from her. And then my sister got involved. Of course.
Oh yeah.
My sister ended up going up to this person in like the bathroom or something and started like yelling at them, saying like, you like don't talk to my sister that way, like you don't like, what is wrong with you? And then I was in the cafeteria at this time. I had no idea that any of this was happening. And then one of like the guidance counselors comes into the cafeteria and calls me, and she's like, Kerry, like I need you to come with me. And I'm like, okay. So I go up to her office, and the person who was threatening me and my sister are sitting there. My sister is crying,
Yeah, that's kind of uncharacteristic.
But also my sister, like, she had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
But she just somehow inserted herself, and then once they figured out that she literally had no involvement and that she was just defending me, she got to leave, and then I had to go through this full conversation with this other person in my grade, like going through, like talking about like why everything happened, and I was like, I had to go through a full thing. We were both crying, and it was super emotional, and like a whole thing. And I actually stayed friends with this person, like. Like, I was like, pretty, like, decent friends. Like, we were, like, friendly, but, like, we actually got pretty close by, like, the end of, like, senior year, weirdly.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny. And, like, the person that I was friends with, that I got threatened for being friends with, is still one of my best friends. Like, from, like, middle school and high school. Like, I love them. They're literally one of my favorite people ever.
And gosh.
And I'm still friends with them. It's been 6 years, and the beginning of our friendship started...
And I know this individual?
You don't know them, but I've mentioned the name before.
Okay, yeah.
I've mentioned the name before, but like I literally love them. Like they're like one of my favorite people ever. But like it's like
What on earth?
I know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever told you the story. But yeah, no, I literally got threatened for being friends with the girl.
Oh my gosh.
And then I don't know if anything else really happened. In like 8th grade was pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
And then high school.
And then high school we keep for a separate episode.
That will be a separate time. But yeah.
And with that said, I think it's time to announce.
Yes. Oh, our guest.
Yeah.
Guest. Okay, you do the on.
Get ready for next week's episode we mentioned this individual in episode 1 with our friend Marie. So, I mean, Marie is confirmed for next week.
Confirmed for next week.
So, we're really excited. We're really excited for
excited.
you guys to hear it.
Yes.
So, please tune in next week.
We love Marie, and we know that you guys will too.
Yes.
So,
and with that said,
we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.